squad, halt. Right, face. Present colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, colors. Right, face. Forward, march.
I actually have a few words, but I look out here and I just, one thing keeps going through my mind. Every day I work with a group of teachers that are really dedicated to the students. But then when I see everybody else that's here, I realize that it takes a little bit more than just the teacher's dedication to make our students successful. So, I mean, this is a small project, I guess, in the scheme of things, but look at everybody out here that it takes to make it work. So, I'm not going to do the speech. I guess my thought is thank you very much for being involved with our partnership. I do appreciate it. Your dedication to our partnership is actually making it possible for our students not only to be academically successful, but I think we're accomplishing one step that's even greater than that, and that's we are starting to produce students that can be successful, productive members of our society, and that's probably the most important point that we can drive home to our students. When students graduate, oftentimes we wonder what's going on with them, but as a result of this partnership, I think we can be rest assured that students are either college bound or they're off to the workplace. So again, thank you very much. And at this point, I think we'll turn it over to the speaker. So I'd like to introduce Ken Warner, who's probably my key partner in this whole house building project. And Ken, if you could say a few words.
Thank you very much. This may come as a surprise to you, but I actually have very few things to say today, which is very unusual for me. My main purpose here this morning, or this afternoon rather, is to thank a lot of the friends that we have here in the audience. I know that we have Lashana Booz is here somewhere from representing Jennifer Sanfilippo from the governor's office. I know Dave Alexander, I saw him out here from Carpenters. I see all the guys from the laborers, Jimmy Williams and Jimmy Haynes and the rest of the sheet metal guys are out here, plumbers, bricklayers, electricians. Thank you very much, guys, for coming down today and helping us. Bev Gushu's out there in the audience. Paul Houlihan is there from Department of Environmental Services, a very important partner for Edison out here. Molly Clifford from formerly of the Net Office, now of Neighborhood Service Centers, is here. We thank you for being here. Joe Ham from Senator Schumer's office, Jim Fenton from the school district, and two people that I just want to point out as being kind of extra special. One person that is really near and dear to our heart because he's bringing us the money is Bob Trowski. Bob, why don't you stand up for a minute? Bob is bringing us the cash. I would truly be remiss if I didn't mention one of the guys who, when I first started in the labor movement 15 years ago, was my first partner in trying to get projects done. And so 15 years later, I brought him back again from out at Ramsey Construction. Jimmy Kuhn is going to dig the hole for us. There he is right there. The other thing that I would like to mention is it has been just so heartening for me to work on with the superintendent and with Matt Laniak on this. And you know, people ask me so often why it is that we're doing this. In large part, we're doing it because of Bob Brown, because of his foresight and everything else. But you know, I just want to tell you one quick thing. Everybody talks about the fact that the schools are failing and there's all sorts of problems and this, that, and the other thing. And the very first thing that we want to do under a situation is, of course, you want to blame the school district. Well, they found out that it wasn't really the school district. They were fixing that and they're doing all sorts of things. Then they wanted to blame the teachers. But it really isn't the teachers. Those are dedicated, hardworking folks. Then they wanted to blame the students. But quite frankly, I've been in this school probably 8 times now, And these students are some of the brightest, most hardworking, greatest students that we have. So whose fault is it really? Well, it's ours. It's those of us in the community that need to stand up and do things like this. And I'm just thankful for all of you who are helping to support this and to support those young people over there. So, without further ado, I will turn it back to Matt. And Matt, why don't you go on down the list?
Okay, actually, we just have a few words from the people up on stage, and if you could just come up when I call your name, that'd be great. Mr. Broussard?
Good afternoon. Just want to echo what Ken Warner says, that it does take a city to make this kind of stuff happen. It's not a school district, it's not the mayor's office, it's not the unions, all of us working together. About 8 months ago, Ken came into my office. He says, "I just need 3 minutes." When most people say that to me, it's really a half hour. But he sat down and said, "I have an idea." He goes, "Can I run with it?" I said, "What is it?" He says, "We're going to make Edison Tech the best school in Rochester." I said, "Go ahead, have fun." I said, "Tell me what you need to make it happen." And you know what? Honestly, he's not come back. What we're watching is Edison Tech really flying and wonderful things beginning to happen. Really want to thank you, Ken, for all the work you've done for this project. But nothing really happens without leadership. And I can tell you that Matt Laniak's leadership has been tremendous in this. You can bring all the resources to a school. If you have a principal who doesn't get it, who doesn't understand, the work will never happen. This principal gets it. So thank you, Matt, for everything you do. Bob Brown, all the labor, Unicom, really thank you for diving into this and for supporting our kids. As a former career and technical education principal, I can tell you that this kind of work is tremendously important to our work in fixing high schools. Not every kid is on a trajectory to a 4-year college, but every kid should be on a trajectory to a middle-class salary, to a meaningful job. So what you see happening here on this campus is the work that we need to do in many more of our schools, making work relevant, having kids see product when they get to work, when they begin to understand, applying math, applying science, applying literacy to the real world, and seeing a product at the end is the work that we need to do across all of our schools. So again, thank you very much for being here. So now I'll take the opportunity to introduce the person who will help us get the site in place to make this work, our wonderful Mayor, Bob Duffy.
It was a pleasure being here talking about something as important as this. And I want to thank the superintendent, Matt Laniak, who I've heard great things about, the leaders of Ken and Unicon, our trades, our construction industry, and our students here. This is a wonderful partnership. When we look at the actions and things that have gone on in the last couple of weeks in our city, all the more importance to look for ways to connect our young people with meaningful careers where they can earn money and earn a great living in the future. I grew up in Rochester, and I remember the tired old Edison Tech, or Clifford and Thomas. It was an old building that produced some of the greatest artisans and craftspeople in this community, and that are still here. And some of your leaders in the construction industry, auto mechanics, and almost every discipline in the trades and vocations that you see today, many came through Edison Tech. It was the shining star, and it was living proof you didn't need a brand new building to produce great talent, and it did. And it is our hope through these partnerships that we'll be producing that same talent, to have young men and women building a house, learning a trade, hopefully becoming members of our local trades when they graduate, earning a great living, owning a car, a house, raising a family, supporting themselves. That is really the dream that everybody looks for. The dream that we see far too often here is kids giving up hope, leaving school, going off, hitting the streets, and getting involved in a life that really has nothing but a dead end in front of it. This is so incredibly positive. And I'm going to echo what Ken said, the talented kids that we have. These are young men and women who will build a house, will learn skills that will serve them a lifetime. And if they go off and become doctors or lawyers or something else down the road, you know what? They will learn skills from this project that will be lasting a lifetime. If they choose to go in this industry, what a great way to kick off. And I want to thank everybody involved in making this happen. I want to thank Melissa Campos from the school board for all of her support. The superintendent, and this is a no-brainer between the city, the school district, Unicon, all the laborers, all our construction industry here. This is what we should be doing and keep on doing over and over and over again. And as we break ground today as we build a beautiful house that's going to be open at some point. I hope we finish it in less than a year. As we have that house built, as we have people walking through and see the skills that we have here, I think it will encourage many other people to come to this program and hopefully start down that same path. So again, to Matt Laniak, I appreciate what you guys have done. The superintendent, to all the tradespeople here. I saw Bob Trowski, I went to high school with, and I thought, maybe he's going through high school one more time. I saw him in the front row here. But these folks here are like the who's who in terms of who gets it done out in the trades and out in the construction industry. Gary Squires, a great construction leader in our community. And I also want to echo Paul Houlihan out here, Molly Clifford, Julio Vasquez. I don't think Julio is here. The teamwork that we have, because we are donating land. We will support this program with everything that we can do, because I think this clearly is a winner. And I hope this is the kind of story that makes the headlines, that reinforce the innate goodness in this community, the innate goodness and talent of our young people, as opposed to some of the things that we're far too often used to seeing. Thank you so much.
Melissa, you care to step up and say a few words? This is on the fly, so.
Just a few, first of all, I just have to say, standing next to both the superintendent and the mayor is a little bit daunting when you're 5 feet tall. But in looking at this, a few years ago, when I was running for office, it really takes a vision. And one of the things that Ken Warner would consistently say is, we need to get our kids involved. This is something that provides an opportunity, time and time again. And he said he's been working on this, and Bob Brown has been working on this for years. So to finally be here, it really does demonstrate lots of leadership on so many people's parts. So I just want to thank you, because really it's about these guys right here and their success. And I think we should give them some appreciation for jumping in the line. And thank you all so much, because it does take a city, and obviously we're here and now we're ready to succeed. So thank you.
Great, and Bob, if you could come up. Bob has kind of been every time I think we're not going forward, I can talk to Bob, and we're doing this. So he's the driving force, I think.
Good afternoon, everybody. This to me is a culmination of one dream and hopefully the beginning of another. For about 10 years, we've been trying to find a way to reach out to the city and the school kids and be a part. And one guy he isn't here, and his name isn't mentioned, but the previous director of Unicom was a guy named Ron Bean. And Ron Bean and I traveled all over the region, finding ways and look at other cities, how they did it. I like to comment on a couple of things. When Bob Duffy announced his candidacy for mayor, I wasn't one of his supporters. He told me win or lose, we were going to be friends. From that point on, that's the way it's been. And we went through, I don't know how many school superintendents we've gone through, but the first time we asked for half an hour for Bazard, I was impressed with his statement saying, I don't want to know what failed, I want to know what's going to succeed. And that to me was the first time we had somebody that said, I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get things done, not talk about it. That's number 2. Number 3 was the fact that, as a good law would have it, you would benefit by having a guy named Laniak, who had a real good job with East Rochester, East Verondequoit, come over to the city of Rochester and take over a school and say, I want to be your partner. So we had a partner with him, and then the fourth group of people I like to talk about are the people who are part of Unicon, Gary Squires in the group. Not one time in this last 8 or 10 years have we asked to do something and been denied by the office of Unicon. Kenny spent a lot of time doing it. Ron Bean spent a lot of time doing it. And one of the things that's the best kept secret in Rochester is we know that 75–80% of the children in the city school district are minority. We also know that 99% of the people who are in the construction trades at the hierarchy are non-minority. You ought to give them credit for being able to put all that aside and try every way possible to make sure that the minority kids succeed. So I'd like to, they should be given a hand, in my opinion, because of the way they have done things. And it's been a goal of mine to say, I live in the greatest city in the world, as far as I'm concerned. I've been all my adult life. To watch somebody say only 45 or 50% of the kids graduating high school did something to me. Says you got somehow or another you got to reach kids. And we decided the best way to reach a child is to show them how you work, what to work, and what your possibilities are. We've had a great marriage. Hopefully we'll keep having this marriage, and it's going to take all of us together to make this project work. We will be in the construction trade, will do our part. I'm sure the member of Unicon they'll do their part. Thank you.
Mr. Sawyer, can you stand up?
Thanks for allowing us to be a part of this program. It's fantastic, I think. My name is Gary Squires. I'm president of Manning, Squires & Henning, and the chairman of Unicon. I've had that distinction for since its inception, and I don't know how to get out of that office. Most of Bob's adult life as well, I think I've been in this program. We are very proud to be partners with Edison School of Applied Technology in this Get Ready for Life program. I'd like to thank everybody for being here today and to celebrate the future of a school that has been such an integral part of the Rochester community for 100 years. As president of a construction company in upstate New York, I've witnessed the effect that Edison has had on our city's landscape almost daily. From the workers that my company employs, the suppliers that provide us with materials, the small and large business owners that make a living providing service in our industry, each and every one of them is laced with past graduates of the Edison Tech. Bob referred to the same thing. Edison graduates make up the last generation of craft workers. They've started their own companies, designed and built our city, and contributed to its success. For years, Edison was the technical school, was the school to go to. It was a hub for innovation and technology, providing students with the knowledge and experience in the trade of choice, from architecture to carpentry to printing. There was a time that in order to get into these programs, students went through very rigorous testing in order to prove that they were serious about their education. Getting accepted was the first step for a bright future in the technical world. It was a place to learn a trade that provided a decent wage and good living. Of course, a lot of those jobs are gone today. Our manufacturing has been receding in the Rochester area. Times have changed, and our world, of course, is facing very tough economic times. Fortunately, here at Edison, these students have a great deal of hope. History has proven that in periods of economic turmoil, investing in America's infrastructure is a viable solution to jumpstarting our economy. Construction and repairs to roads and bridges, water supplies, housing, educational facilities, alternative energy are most effective drivers of economic activity and the quickest contributors to maintaining or improving our quality of life. And of course, our most recently passed federal stimulus bill pushes a lot of money into those programs. This national investment will create thousands of quality construction jobs. In an age, and we should be thankful for those construction jobs in the future. In an age where creativity and innovation are acknowledged as contributors to economic success, Edison has helped foster an environment to help students learn the skills they need to obtain these jobs as soon as they graduate. Schools like Edison are part of the solution, where learning is participatory, hands-on, fully prepares the students not only for a job, but for a career. I stand before you today as a business owner and representative of Unicon, who knows how valuable Edison students will be in the future of our construction industry. Just as the past generations of craft workers have come from Edison Tech, the students we see before us today will graduate from the Applied Tech School at Edison, carrying a legacy of quality craftsmanship that can help modernize our city and bring us full throttle into the future. Today's groundbreaking symbolizes the journey these students are about to embark on. building a foundation of skills and experience that will last students a lifetime. Thank you again for joining us and helping us celebrate the future of Edison, the future of these fine students, and the future of our industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we have the students come up, just a couple of quick thanks. Ken has an unbelievable assistant. Lindsay, if you could just stand up, who kind of put this all together for us. And I just need to go back to the staff. The reality is, I push the staff pretty hard. I mean, I really push them hard, and we're trying to become the best that we can become. And every time I push, they rise to the occasion, and the students benefit. So I can't say enough for the staff, because you guys are really working hard, and I do think if we can keep going, we're going to be there. And I say that every faculty meeting, we're going to be the best. So thank you very, very, very much. Okay, at this time, if the students could come up on stage, grab a shovel.
It's your first day on the job. So we're going to determine how you do. Okay?
Right up.
We should give some, Matt, why don't we give some shovels to our dignitaries?
Oh, I'm going to.
Come on down there. Start right in there. Who's first at the end? Gotta squeeze some other folks together.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I don't know how to use this guy.
All right, on the count of three, if everyone could dig in. We ready?
All right, get over here.
1, 2, 3. All right, I guess we broke ground. All right, well, this concludes the formal portion of the presentation, and I think we have food in the library for everybody. If you just go straight down the hall, you'll see where the library is by the main entrance. Thank you.
I want you to notice this. First time in 15 years. All right, we got it, we got it. A happy group. I think we got it. Everybody good? Thank you all.
Great shot. Super. Makes you look real. Occupational. Works. It works. What's up, man? Not much. Vaya contigo.
view it.
Something.
Nice, but she was looking that way. Yeah.
Sure. What's up, Diamond? Oh man, I didn't see him in the back of that line. I don't know how Walker's in this.
But what do you do?
When? In class. All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
This wears off. There we go.
Jose Alvarez, skilled trades, Edison Tech, baby.
This is Maylee Santiago, one of our workers on the Polaris project, and I know she's going to do a wonderful job. She's a hard worker, and we're looking forward to that new house, and I can't wait to see it myself.
Here's the situation. Okay, well,
Right. And start saying that?
Sure. I'm a student teacher at carpentry from SUNY Oswego. I'll be working with the students framing the house.
I just called one of the